Hey everybody, today I'm going to take you through a tutorial where I use those really small stamps that you always get in your stamp sets to create a large focal point for your card. Here's a look at my card today, so let's go ahead and get started. Now I have just taken a piece of typing paper, folded it in half, and I cut a heart out from it. If you've got a heart die, you can use that. If you've got a stencil with a heart, you can use that also. This was just the easiest option. So I just trimmed it out with some scissors, and then I'm just going to lightly trace it on my paper. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'll just lightly trace that. And I've also got it hanging off the edge a little bit just to give the card a little bit of interest. So I'll trace that on, and then I've got this cozy Christmas stamp set. It's from Ellen Hudson, and it's got those 4 little hearts on there. It's also got 4 stars if you wanted to use those, but look in your stamp sets. They've all got the little bitty images in them that you can use for this technique. And you can do different shapes also. You can do stars, you could do a house, you could do anything, a tree, anything you want to do. Just start stamping. So I've got those 4 little hearts, and I've put them onto acrylic blocks, and I've also got some paper tray ink dye ink. The colors are Autumn Rose, Ocean Tides, and Smoky Shadow. All I'm going to do is take those hearts and start stamping and just follow the outline of my heart that I've traced on my paper. I'll speed this up a little bit, and you can see I'm just alternating colors and stamping those down. I've got a baby wipe off to the side and also a piece of paper off to the other side just to clean and dry my stamps off with and make sure I'm getting good coverage. Just keep stamping, and once you get started and you get kind of a flow going, I guess, for lack of a better term, once you get going, it really starts coming together fast. It does take time, but it's not as much as you would think. I'd say I probably spent 20 minutes stamping this down, so not a lot of time. I also got a little blemish there, or a little smudge, so I just took my sanding block and sanded away, and then I'll use the eraser to smooth out my sanding. And also I'm going to use that eraser and just erase my pencil lines that I've made to trace out my heart. So you can tell my stamping on each heart isn't perfect, but that's okay because your eye is going to be drawn to the larger focal point, so you won't even notice. So once I had my heart outline erased there, I'm just going to take the Home and Hearth dies from Ellen Hudson, and I'm going to cut the 3 smallest ones from coordinating paper tray ink cardstock colors, Autumn Rose, Smoky Shadow, and Ocean Tides. So I'll have 9 hearts. I won't end up using them all at the end. That's just how many I cut. I've got this banner die. It is from MFT. It's part of the First Place ribbon die set. And I'm going to cut that from out from just some white scrap cardstock. I'm going to put this in my paper trimmer and score this from each end at a 1/4 inch, move it 1/8 of an inch over, and score it again. I'll do it on both sides, and then I'm going to fold one in and the other out and just make it to where it looks like it's got some dimension to the banner. Very simple to do. Fold it in and use your bone folder just so it stays in place. And then fold it out and just make sure those are lined up properly. So you can buy banners that already have the score marks in it when you die cut it, which are awesome and would make this process a lot easier. However, this is the banner die I had on hand, so I just made it work and put my score marks in myself. And I just have to do a little extra work to get it looking just right. So I'm going to just keep working on that. And here you'll see it doesn't take too much time, but again, if you want to make it easier on yourself, you can buy dies that already do this for you. There, I've got it just right, and now I'm going to go ahead and unfold it. I know all that work, and then you just unfold it, right? But I'm going to put it in my MISTI. I've got my foam removed because I'm going to be using this Tailored Expressions stamp set. It's got the sentiment "You warm my heart" in it. Now, this stamp set is no longer available. However, I looked up the sentiment, just typed it into Google, and it's available in a lot of stamp sets out there. So pick your favorite one if you want this sentiment. You can also search your own stash for a heart sentiment or a love sentiment that would work on this card, and do the same technique that I'm doing here. So I've got my Versamark ink. I've prep my banner with my embossing bag already, put on my Versamark ink, and then I stamp that down. Just remember, whenever you are using your cling mount stamps, just take your foam out. I didn't, and it was kind of a mess. So I've got some Stampin' Up! Silver embossing powder. I'll sprinkle that on and tap off the excess. You can also use a small paintbrush to remove any extra little flecks you have on there. I've used my heat gun and I heat set that, and there you can just see the added dimension that the embossing powder gives to that. Just a little more interest to a pretty simple card. Now I'm going to take some foam squares. These are from Stampin' Up! And that's just what I had on hand. And I've put quite a few on the back there. I've tucked in those little ends so they kind of stick to the back of the foam squares. And then I'll just place that down on the center of the card. Now I've also taken very small bits of foam tape, put those on the back of some of my die cut hearts, and popped those up. I've only got 3 on there now, but after I put the card together, I decided I wanted more on there, so you'll see in a minute that I go back and add more. I am also adding a Wink Stella clear glitter brush pen over the top of each of those hearts. I've got a piece of fun foam cut to slightly smaller than my card panel there, double-sided adhesive on both sides, and stuck that down on an A2 white top folding card panel, or card base, excuse me. So I've got that stuck down, and there you can see I'm going to go back in with more hearts. I wanted more dimension, and I'll put those down. I'm also going to go in again with my clear Wink Stella glitter brush pen and put on a couple coats, actually, of glitter to this. I wanted those to really stand out and shine. And there you can see just the little bit of added dimension that gives that card, and that finishes it off for today. I will leave you all with just a few pictures. For more information and a complete supply list, you can visit my blog, craftingwhilecaffeinated.wordpress.com. Thank you all so much for watching, and happy crafting!